TBWZ Power Hour. It is opening day in the MLB. Are you for real right now? Happy opening day, everybody. Here we go, all together now. 3, 4. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, so let's root for the Angels. If they don't win, it's a shame, 'cause it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Baseball has officially begun. And with that, my sadness and my tears. My team stinks. The Angels are horrible. Do you want to know how I think about your team? Do you want to know how I feel about the Pirates? Or about the Rays? Or about the Mets? Or about the Yankees or the Padres or the Blue Jays? Or the Mariners or the Royals or the Guardians? Formerly known as the Indians. I think what was worse? The Redskins or the Indians? Paprika? They were both not great. But like calling someone a Redskin feels more racist than calling someone an Indian. It's funny that the Indians were like, we cannot have this name, it's racist. And then actual Indians are over in India just like, huh? They're like this. They're like, wait. Huh? It would have been way funnier if the Cleveland Indians, now the Cleveland Guardians, were formerly known as the Cleveland Indians, if they were named after not Native Americans, but actual like Indians. These are the things I think about. Their colors would have been orange and green too. The color of the flag. 2 of the weaker colors to be featured on a flag. Orange and green. Would you rather have red, white, and blue or orange, green, and white? I mean, come on now. But I feel like if we were to do a ranking tier of how racist was it, the racism behind calling them the Redskins was probably worse than the Indians. And it's basically like this. For both of these examples, it's hard because we get clouded by the idea of Native Americans, and we're like, I don't understand it really. Let's just pretend it was black people. Imagine if they were the Washington Blackskins, and then the Washington Blacks, or the Cleveland Black people, or the Cleveland Africans might be better. The Cleveland Blacks would maybe work too. Now that I say it out loud, calling yourself the Cleveland Black people is like it's one of the funniest things that we could ever do as a society. That would be the funniest name a professional team could ever name themselves. The Black people. What about the Asians? See, if you went by the Cleveland Asians and then there was the Washington Yellowskins, jeez, this is a horrible conversation. The Yellowskins on that end sounds more racist than just being the Cleveland Asians. But being the Cleveland Indians sounds less racist than being the Cleveland Redskins, right? Same as with Yellowskin Asian. But with black, if you go the Cleveland Blacks, that sounds more racist than the Cleveland Blackskins. These are the things that I think about. These are the things that nobody else has to think about. I would actually encourage you to go out and not say it. And just not think about these things. And just move on in life. And just be like, zippity-doo-dah, zippity-day. My, oh my, what a wonderful day. It is literally a wonderful day for baseball. I'm so excited. It's like 75 degrees, beautiful, sunny. Shout out California. Shout out to Christ. Shout out to baseball. Shout out to America. Shout out to you guys. We got JD Walker in the chat. We got Oreo in the chat. XD is here. Automod is here, already getting mad at JD for saying Redskins. And you're like, brother, it was his fault. We are probably going to have expansion in the NBA. We absolutely are. We are going to be talking about expansion in the NBA, Oreo. Thank you for bringing it up. We're going to be talking about, oh, dude, the Oreo Lightskins actually would be kind of, or the Cleveland Lightskins would actually be kind of sick. If they were the Cleveland Lightskins, that'd be sick. Bro. Dude, the Memphis Lightskins? I don't even know if there is a thing. Where's the biggest population of light-skinned black people in America? It doesn't feel like it's Memphis, but it might be. Oh my gosh, and Buffalo Bill has joined the chat. Buffalo Bill, I'm putting you to work, dog. We are a month away from the NFL draft, and I have yet to get my second mock draft from Buffalo Bill. Brother, We still have one mock draft from Buffalo Bill. That is the official Buffalo Bill, obviously, or formerly known as Parker's the most of all time. He basically he's our NFL draft expert, and we have one mock draft from him so far when ESPN already has like 3 or 4. So we are here to be bigger than ESPN. We're here to be bigger than PMS. We're here to be bigger than Barstool. So if we only have one mock draft so far, we are not doing great. So Bill, come on, brother, I need you. You still have Trinidad Chambliss on our current mock draft. Okay, we need to update that. I have a whole card proving I'm Native American. JD, you do. Shout out to Indians. Shout out to Cherokees. The love of my life is Native American. The love of my life is Native American. She's beautiful. She's also a little bit in love with me, I can tell. You know, you could tell sometimes when a woman is in love with you, a little bit. They start to just do things a little bit differently. Because I do things very different around her than I do with everybody else. I treat her differently. I put her on a pedestal. Come on now. She's a mom, mother of one. Maybe that's the only thing holding us back is motherhood. And me being, well, a goofball. It's hilarious to be like, yeah, she's a mother and so responsible. To take care of a child, you have to have a certain like baseline of responsibility, right? Or if you don't, your kid gets taken away by CPS. I'm going to just go out on a limb and say I'm never having a kid taken away by CPS. Not me. Nope. Good dad alert. Good dad alert. What up, Brick Jock? What up, Gliz? Welcome to the show. Power Hour. Ow! Yeah, so the woman I'm in love with, is a mother of one. And she's also, how do I put this? Native American. She's a supermodel. She is far beyond the maturity level that I am at now, currently as a human. My thought, though, I'm like the fun, funky, fresh one. I'm like the young buck, right? And I know you're like, dude, you're unk. I know, I'm unk to you, but to some, I'm young. To some older ladies with children and full-time jobs, I'm like the young, fun buck because I'm young and crazy and I keep things loose and fresh. So, what does that mean for you guys? It means the minute she says, I love you too, but you have to stop doing your show, I'm sayonara. Bro, I'm going to be straight up out of here. Is she really a supermodel, Gliz? Yes, she is. She is like a legit model. She lives in Los Angeles right now. She was in Miami. This is too much information. You're not the stepdad. You're the dad that stepped up. That's basically what I would be. I just ripped Jesus' hands off. Oh, no. What? I know. This is my baby Jesus. I accidentally ripped his hands off. Shout out to baby Jesus. Shout out to you guys. This show starts the same way every single day, as you know. Well, let me just go over this. We're going to be doing an MLB preview for the first hour of the show. I've gotten notes on every single team. I have my MLB MVPs. I have my Cy Young winners. I have my division winners. I have my wild card teams, and I have my World Series matchup. I have a 2 to 3 sentence blurb on each team and how I think they're going to be doing, and littered throughout are players to look out for. From prospects to new faces on new teams, brother. We're going to be covering the MLB from tip top to the bottom wop. We're going to be going hard with MLB for the first hour of the show. I'll be taking a 5-minute break after that. Hours 2 and 3 are mostly going to be March Madness, NBA basketball. I'll be going live on TikTok, talking ball, taking calls, hanging out, having fun with the guys, rocking back with our Zac's racked. I don't know. My mind went to a horrible place right there. You say the word rack, and it's just like my mind is instantly boobs. Think about them. Think about boobs. Not that I'm not trying to impart that on you. It's just so, dude, it's like anytime someone says that word, I'm just like, yeah, boobs exist. Someone's like, oh, can you like re-rack that? I'm like, boobs exist. Boobs. Dude, someone's like, hey, can you, like, I'm thinking about baseball, and I remember being a kid, and like everyone would have their bat in the bat rack, and we're just like, oh, wow. The bat rack? Dude, what are we talking about? Anne Hathaway in The Dark Knight Rises? Come on. Anne Hathaway, top 5 hottest woman of all time over the past 20 years, Anne Hathaway. From 06 to 26, Anne Hathaway might be the hottest woman of all time. From 06 to 26. She's been around the whole time, brother. Princess Diaries came out, was that her? Princess Diaries came out in 03, and she was fine in that. I think she was 17 in that. But I was like 14 in that, I think so. Or when that was out. So it's chill. But over the past 20 years, from 06 to 26, Anne Hathaway might be 1-1. She might legit be 1-1. Courtney Cox had a spell in there where she was looking rough, brother. Dude, Courtney Cox got LeBron's... Dude, yeah, thank you, Brick. Courtney Cox got like LeBron level longevity, bro. The entire time that LeBron has been... Or sorry, holy crap, Anne Hathaway. Anne Hathaway is like LeBron level longevity, dude. The entire time LeBron has been in the league, Anne Hathaway's been hot. All 23 seasons of LeBron, we've had a sexy Anne Hathaway. How old is she? I don't like, dude, the whole like, oh, you shouldn't know a woman's age or shouldn't ask a woman her age. What the first thing I do when I meet a new person, I'm just like, how old are you? Hurry up, come on. Oh, I just need to know. I don't know what it is or why. Anne Hathaway, dude, oh my gosh. Women be like. She was born in 82, so she's 14 years older than Z. Her films have grossed over $6.8 billion. Dude, imagine if it was 6.7. And I have to say something real quick. What's up, Andres? Be better to be those kinds of boys in Beantown. I don't know what to talk about. Like the cartoon one or on Prime. Yeah, it's really good. Good show to sit back and watch. There's a lot of action. Invincibles. All right. Howdy. She's a first ballot Hall of Fame Huz. Yes. If under 18, you can go to jail. Asking age is good. Yeah. That's true. Blorp, what up? How's it going? Andres, that's actually very true. I always ask a woman her age because guess what? She might be underage. She might be under the age. Yeah, so she was in Get Smart in 08, and she was looking OMG very nice in Get Smart in 08. From 06 to 26, the hottest woman of all time has been Anne Hathaway. Over the past 20 years, she is 1-1. I'm like Cameron Diaz, love her. Jennifer Aniston, absolutely. But they've also gone through spells where just like, you are now acting your age. With Anne Hathaway, every time I see her, I'm just like, how are we not like, how do we not have statues of her in like every mosque or synagogue across America? I feel like Muslim would be a better religion if they just worshipped Anne Hathaway. Shout out Anne Hathaway, Paprika, and all that. Let's go Yankees, right? Absolutely not. Women don't get hot until 15 anyways. How can I say that? How can I say this nicely? Working with children, especially like younger kids, you pretty much know whether a kid is going to be like a handsome child or is going to be an ugly kid. You pretty much know relatively quickly. Dude, you can see a kid from a young age and be like, 5 years old, 5 or 6 years old. You can just be like, that kid is going to grow up and be very, very handsome. Or you can be like, that kid is chopped and going to be chopped and might stay chopped until they do something about it. A lot of kids are ugly from birth to like 17. A lot of kids are ugly from birth to like 24. Dude, I know guys who were like a 5.5 their entire life, whatever reason, got into their late 20s, figured something out, started looks maxing, started following our guy Clavicular, and all of a sudden now are hot. Veenie rating kids. Dude, it's the power hour. What else are you going to do? We're 15 minutes into the show and I'm already talking about children in such a not a cool way. But yeah, Anne Hathaway. And listen, if you guys want to call into the show at some point today and let me know who you think has a hotter longevity for the past 20 years, from 06 to 26, the hottest woman on earth has been Anne Hathaway. If you think that there's someone better than Anne Hathaway, please, by all means, brother, let me know. Let me know. Halle Berry could be in the mix. You know who else is in the mix? Obviously, Beyonce. Beyonce from 06 to 26 has got to be on this list. Rihanna. Jessica Alba is a great shot, XD. Jessica Alba is a great shot. I'm doing pure longevity, though, dude. LeBron got me on the longevity mode. Megan Fox, she went through a period, dude. I think she still might be in that period where just like mega work done. Mega work done. But if you like that kind of thing, you got to like her. This show starts the same way. She had a comeback. See, Anne never had a comeback. Anne never had to come back from anything. Dude, the bad girl, Rihanna, I would put Rihanna in it, but she had that messed up haircut in 06. Pfft. Bro, hey, if you're a chick and you're like, should I shave the side of my head? Don't. Oh, don't. Unless you're doing some freaky things at night, do not shave the side of your head. This show starts the same way every single day. It starts with the verse of the day. Today's verse comes to you from Ephesians 5. Living in the light. Imitate God, therefore, in everything you do, because you are his dear children. Live a life filled with love, following the example of Christ. He loved us and offered himself as a sacrifice for us, a pleasing aroma to God. Imitate, imitate, imitate. Levitate, 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 levitate. Imitation is one of the best things you could do to grow as a human. Find someone you look up to. Find someone you care about. Find an artist whose works you're like, that is brilliant stuff, and imitate it, right? When I was learning screenwriting, I read a bunch of Tarantino stuff because I wanted to learn from the guy I wanted to like create like. I imitate Spielberg a lot in my films because I think Spielberg is one of the few filmmakers that can just touch everybody's heart and like just be so I don't want to talk about it, but imitate those who you love. Sofia Vergara. What was Sofia Vergara doing in 2006? Let's find out. I mean, she's just perfect. And her middle name is Jacqueline. She's been married to Adam Schulman for 14 years, though. I hope he treats her well. Sofia Vergara, 2006. Question of the day, what were you doing in 2006? Okay, yeah. Absolutely. She kind of looks like a mix of my aunt and my cousin in a weird way that I don't want to talk about. She looks a lot like my aunt, but not in such a different way. I was 2 in 2006. Tell me about it. Megan Thee Stallion, Gliz, brother. I can tell what kind of women you're into if you're rocking Megan Thee Stallion. Gliz likes black girls. So do I. We also do the movie of the day on this show. Oh, dude, it's baseball season. Imagine me not picking this movie, Sandlot. The best baseball movie there is. I just made my pre-Sweet 16 NBA mock. Let's go, Oreo. Oreo, unbelievable stuff. We're gonna preview that on Friday, so you have time to edit it and turn it into a nice PowerPoint. I want 12-point MLA font on that. Unruly, you're my guy. The Sandlot. It's the early 1960s, and 5th grader Scotty Smalls has just moved into town with his folks. Kids call him a dork. He can't even throw a baseball. But that changes when the leader of the neighborhood gang recruits him to play on the nearby Sandlot field. It's the beginning of a magical summer of baseball. Wild adventures, first kisses, and fearsome confrontations with the dreaded beast and its owner, who live behind the left field fence. Soon 9 boys, I'm hooked, have become best friends. Scotty is part of a team, and their leader has become a local legend in this hilarious and warm-hearted comedy.com. It's not a website. It's a TV show. It's not a website or a TV show. It's a movie. It's the first movie that I think about when I think about baseball. It's not a TV show though. The best scene in Sandlot. There's 2. First of all, You're Killing Me Smalls is great. All right, well, I got his mom on my phone, so I just sent it to Discord. All right, Oreo. That's awesome. I was like, Oreo, you should turn it into a PowerPoint. I want a presentation. I want all this. And he's like, yeah, I'm good. I'm like, okay. Sandlot is so awesome, and there's 2 scenes in particular in Sandlot that should be your favorite. The number 2 scene in Sandlot is this magic moment when your lips are close to mine. When Squints plants a fat one on a Wendy Peppercorn. Dog. I think I first saw this movie when I was like 4 or 5 years old. It did something to me. This was one of the first times in my life where I was like, yes, chicks, awesome, love those. Those rock. Women. In a little bit, Park. The number 2 scene in Sandlot is Squints bagging Wendy Peppercorn. Dude, faking life or death. faking death at the local pool to get a little one-on-one action, a little lip locking, a little smoochy town, a little sniff around the bean town, whatever. That scene rocks. That scene rules. And the best part is at the very end when it's like him and Wendy Peppercorn got married and had like 19 kids together. You know Squints be after it. But the number one scene in Sandlot by far is 4th of July. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain. When they're playing baseball, and the only thing illuminating them is the beautiful bright blue sun above them and the fireworks lighting off, sharing an Independence Day. That is the best scene in sports movie history. Playing baseball underneath the fireworks in Sandlot is the best scene in movie history, the best scene in that movie. I love you so much. What time is the Laker game? Lakers play at 4 p.m., so about an hour and a half from now we have the Laker game. I want to coach a 10U football team. XD. Did you play football? Aren't you still in high school? Why don't you play football? Instead of coaching, you should play. All you do is sign up. Hey, coach, I want to play. And then they'll put you in. You go, but me and coach, I'm ready to play today. Look at me. I can be Santa Fe. That scene is tied with the left side, strong side, and Remember the Titans. Yeah. JD, that's a great one. That is a great one. If I don't make it to big leagues, there you go. XD, you should just play football. I'm telling you, it'd be so sick if you played football. You would love it so much. You'd be like, dude, I just tackled somebody. All right, let's get after it. I'm going to do a full MLB preview with you guys before we kind of open the phone lines up. Actually, since you guys are chill and you guys know ball and you know this show, if you want to call in and talk baseball, you're welcome to call in and talk baseball while I'm doing my baseball preview. If you want to talk about something else, and Andres the 5-stream streak. Yes, sir. Unruly's coaching lax, but Unruly played all of high school and finished strong like a beast and might continue to play in college because he's an awesome athlete like that. And life is too short not to try things, dude. If you're between the age of 10 years old, that's a bad example. If you are between the ages of 15 and 35, that's a big swath of time. Go for it, dude. Go for it. The only time you should start to settle down is like post 35, 36, 37. You should find the wife and have the kid or two quickly, and then move on and then be like, cool, this is my purpose now. If you're between the ages of 15 and 35, though, absolutely go for it. Chase your dream. Do the stupid thing, right? Bro, for whatever reason, let's say this is the worst thing in the whole world and nothing comes of this, and then 3 years from now, I'm like, all right, time to focus in real life. I'm 32. Easy. That day, dude. I'm not going to do like public therapy right now, but just know I love you guys. All right, let's get after it. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to baseball.
Rest in peace, my granny. She got hit by a bazooka. Yeah.
There's one big thing to be looking out for this season. Obviously, we're going to be looking out for players and names and fantasy implications and all of that stuff and what teams show up. Every single year in baseball, it feels like we get some sort of Cinderella team that just pops up out of nowhere. Like this time last year, people were picking the Blue Jays to finish last in the AL East. People were picking the Orioles to finish first in the AL East. And that was the opposite. The Blue Jays ended up being not even a play away from... They were a play away from winning the World Series. They were an inch away from winning the World Series. If you remember in Game 7, they had the play at the plate where Will Smith stretched out at home plate and his foot got lifted up off the plate as the guy was scoring, but his foot came down. And they were milliseconds away from winning the World Series last year, and everyone picked them to finish last in the AL East. So I just wanted to preface this with saying, if today the experts are saying your team is going to have a bad year, or your team isn't going to finish strong, and your team is just wasting away, or should be sellers, brother, Cinderellas happen every single year in baseball specifically. Baseball is so good for that team that hasn't been here for very long or hasn't been around or is just now fielding a squad. You got to give it up for your baseball squad at all times. JD, welcome to the show, by the way, dude. So glad you're in here. If you're fit and you can play, linebacker is the best. XD linebacker would be so sick. I'd recommend playing defense instead of offense. It's a little bit easier to maintain defense, and there's a lot less pressure, and it's just like a little bit more fun because like you just go out there and kill people. Which is the best thing to do in football. I used to destroy kids. I used to physically harm children. I used to send kids away in the hospital. Like badly. I used to, oh my gosh. I used to destroy people. Oreo's quarterback tight end. Let's go. Do you want the Phillies to win? I don't care. The Phillies are, I don't believe in the Phillies this year, but we're going to get to that in just a moment. The thing I'm most excited about this year is the new automatic ball strike system, the ABS system in baseball, Paprika. The worst thing that happened in baseball in my lifetime was broadcasts putting up the square strike zone. We used to not have that. We used to not have that on the broadcast. We used to just have our eyes and we'd say, that's outside, even though it wasn't. But now, dude, I remember the day it started. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world, but ultimately it took away from one of the simple pleasures of being a ball watcher, was arguing with the umpire. Arguing balls and strikes is part of the game. I don't want to go full unk mode on you guys, but I'm not a big fan of the ABS system. It's a small scale version of a full-time fix. The ABS system, if you don't know, each team is going to have 2 opportunities throughout the game on right after a pitch is called a ball or a strike. They're going to have 2 chances per team per game to argue the ball or strike call. You tap your helmet and go, I don't think that was a strike. And then the umpire will check the ABS system, which is some robot laser stuff that I don't know crap about. And then the robot laser thing is going to be like, ball. And then he's going to go, yeah, it was a ball. All right. It's not strike 3. It was a ball. It's now 2-2. Tight end and edge would be fun. I hate not being able to be a delusional fan. Yeah. That's why I think the Yankees end second or third in the East. We'll see what Veenie has to say. I think the Yankees get it done this year. They do the thing that nobody wants them to do, which is win the World Series. Crazy. Each team gets 2 per game to argue basically with the ABS system. You're basically throughout the entire game, you have an umpire calling balls and strikes. But 4 times per game, we're going to just go to the robots. We're going to go, actually, I don't trust the umpire's human judgment there. Let's just go to the robots. But we're only going to do it 4 times per game. Two times each side. That's all we're going to use it for. It's a small scale version of a full scale fix, which is 100% accuracy with balls and strikes. That's what we're going towards, is 100% accuracy with balls and strikes with no human error. But human error is one of the best parts of sport, dude. It happens. You want it to be automatic. Tennis did this. Tennis got rid of the line judges a couple of years ago. They made it 100% technology that measures the ball and the line and determines whether a ball is in or out. Imagine if in tennis they only did it for 1% of the time. They're like, hey, we're going to do it for just 4 points out of the entire game. Everything else, though, we're going to just use the human beings. That doesn't make any sense. For me, ABS only makes sense if you use it 100% of the time. You're sitting here on this thing right here that's like, hey, this entity, this piece of technology removes all human error from baseball and it's going to give you 100% accuracy for balls and strikes. Oh, really? That's so sick. Let's only use it 0.5% of all of the game. Let's only use it 4 times per game. There's about 250 pitches per baseball game, and you're going to give it 4 out of 250. So less than, what is that, 0.02%? 0.025%? Math. It doesn't make sense to me because it's a small version scale of the full solution, which is just using it the entire time. It's going to happen. We're going to get to a point where a game ends on an ABS call. where it's a full bases loaded, full count, and the umpire calls it a strike 3, game over, and the guy's like, ah! And then they check the robot, and it's like, actually, it was a ball. That run on third scores. The tie game is now over. You guys win. Congrats. And we're gonna have a game end anticlimactically on a robot, huh? On a robot telling us what's going on. I like it. For if we were using it 100% of the time. If we used ABS 100% of the game, it makes a lot of sense to me. But only using it for 4 pitches a game, what are we doing? It doesn't make any sense. That's my thought on ABS. I'm going to go down division by division, essentially, to go through this whole thing, starting with the National League. Starting with the National League, and starting with the National League East. Because I got some homies in here that are some big fans of some of those teams. Hopefully it can help the umpires get better. JD, I would love that too. I don't see how it happens. I also don't mind when the umpires are bad. I don't know about you, but I don't mind when the umpires are bad. Like when he has a low zone, when he's calling it low all game, and he's consistent with it, I'm fine with it. If the guy has a pitcher-friendly zone or a hitter-friendly zone, umpires would tell you before the game. When you would do the captain's meeting at home plate, the umpire would be pretty straight up with you. He'd be like, hey, I'm a little bit friendly on the outside corner for pitchers. And you're like, okay. And you go back to the dugout and you say, hey, he's going to be calling that outside strike. So move up to the plate. Don't choke up as much as you think you should. And get ready to extend those arms and get the ball and go oppo with it. Umpires used to do that. Now if I'm an umpire that calls it outside consistently, but someone argues with the ABS, it's like, the ABS is going to just be a robot. It's not going to have a zone manufactured like my zone is manufactured if I'm the umpire. Arguing balls and strikes is part of the game. Human error is part of the game. It's one of the reasons it's great. The challenge is very necessary for all sports. ABS, though, is a different level. Maybe one time a year I watch a game and I say, wow, the umpire blew that game. Maybe one time a year. That's pretty good. With the 200 plus baseball games that I'm going to watch every single season, the fact that like one time per year, I'm like, man, the umpire really led to that team winning. All the time, I'm like, dude, the umpire stunk today. But I've never walked away and said like the umpire was the reason that the other team won and my team lost. Did you hear about how Tom Brady is your dad? And also NFL opener is on Wednesday. That is stupid. Coz, I saw that the NFL opener is on Wednesday. We can get to that in just a moment. After we do our baseball talk, I would love to cover that. That is one of the stupidest things I've ever seen in my life. Apparently, and I'll just get to it now. As long as Angel Hernandez isn't umpiring anymore, he'll be just fine. My little brother. Well, that was not what I wanted. Adam Schefter tweeted this out 2 hours ago. The 2026 NFL regular season will kick off Wednesday, September 9th at 8:20 p.m. Eastern in Seattle with Super Bowl champion Seahawks. Wednesday. Why is the season starting on a Wednesday? I don't need it. I don't need the season to start on a Wednesday. The reasoning behind this is because they're doing this Melbourne, Australia game on September 10th. That is the farthest place in the world. Melbourne is the farthest place in the world from America. Why the heck are we playing a game there? Dude, Australians, shout out to you guys. You guys are a cool group of people. Not sure how you got there. Not sure why you stayed. What do? You don't export anything. What do you do in Australia besides try to be the U.S.? Sorry, that's so rude. You don't need a football game there, bro. The NFL season starting on a Wednesday is bullocks. I don't know what the point of it is. Roger Goodell is power hungry. I'm nervous about the league, dude. I'm nervous about this league that I love. It's expanding too rapidly. I don't care about Europe. I don't care about Australia. I don't care about playing games in Singapore. I couldn't care less about Brazilian children getting to watch NFL games in real life. I don't care really about anybody at all from Melbourne. Got love for you, brother in Christ. But I don't care about you watching football. I don't care that if you're a fan of my team. If you're like, hey, I'm a diehard. That's so horrible. Oh, I'm a diehard Chargers fan. I shouldn't do accents. I don't care about you. Think I give a crap about you in Melbourne? You think I care about my sport getting big overseas? No part of me is every day wakes up like this. Oh, man. I wish the NFL was bigger in Europe. I don't care about Europe. I don't care about China. I don't care about India. I care about America. And I care about my sport, football, being respected and renowned in the country that it was born in. I don't want my sport that I love to be bending over backwards for little exhibition games over in the land down under. This also sucks for the Rams and the 49ers because they're going to Australia. The game's on a Thursday, but technically, the game for them in Australia is played on a Friday. The game for them is they're going to play it on a Friday, but it's going to be broadcast here on a Thursday. But for them, it's Friday. So then they're going to come back Saturday. Or they're going to come back late Friday night. It's very, very weird. I don't like it at all. I hate it. Why are we starting the season in Australia? Technically, we're not. We're starting it on a Wednesday. It just all feels weird. Now, when the day comes and it's September 9th and we're watching football again, I'm going to be overjoyed and through the moon and so happy about it. Plus, that's a TBWZ day. All right. Okay. Here we go, guys. I'm going live for the first football game of the season. There we go. Hold me to it. That's what I'm saying. I'm so confused on how it's going to work. Yeah. The 49ers have a lot of traveling to do. LOL. They do. Gliz. What up, dog? You should play courtesy of the red, white, and blue. Absolutely. In the next 2 years, there will be a UK team. I'm from Ontario, Canada. I think we will get a team in Toronto. Besides that, should be the only international team. Well, Coz, you're bringing up an interesting point about NFL expansion because NBA expansion is apparently happening. And they're going to 32 teams, which would tie the NFL for most professional teams in an American league at 32. I don't think that the NFL is going to just sit at 32 for much longer. I would say within the next 5 years, the next 5 seasons, we will have a 33rd and a 34th team. I also, unlike the NBA, I think NFL has enough talent to disperse among 34 teams. I don't think that there's enough talent in the NBA to disperse among 32 teams. We have teams that are tanking right now, not because Victor Wembanyama is available in the draft. They're tanking because they kind of stink. 34 with 2 international teams. I don't know if we had a 33rd and a 34th in America. I think they both might be international, but UK would be a stretch for me, dude. UK would be a massive stretch. I don't think we're going all the way to Europe just yet. That's a 6-hour flight-ish from the East Coast. So they're only going to be able to play East Coast teams, really? And what happens if they're really, really good and they have a playoff schedule? The travel would be insane for that team. They'd have to book it and do weird stuff. Whatever. We're talking about NFL expansion teams when it's MLB opening day. Love you guys so much. Let's get into it. Opening day. NL East. Starting with the Phillies. Boom. The Phillies are I've gotten quite old rather quickly. Wheeler, JT, Realmuto, Kyle Schwarber, these guys are all 35 years old. Harper's up in the 32, 33 range. Trey Turner is now 32 years old. This core that we were looking at 3 or 4 years ago is like one of the best teams in baseball. Brother, they're getting old. They're getting old. The window might be closing. It's this year or next year for me for the Phillies. I just don't know if they have the juice. They didn't really get much better in the offseason, but they were an elite team last year, and they're going to be an elite team this year, most likely. They just fizzled out in the end and lost to a Dodgers team that was obviously red hot, and they were the number 1 team in the NL, but it didn't matter because the Dodgers dismantled them in like 4 games in the postseason. I'm not high on the Phillies this year, but they do have a lineup to win a bunch of games. You can get away with tanking in basketball, but in football, it's super hard. Yeah. The Mets After the most disappointing season we've probably ever seen in baseball, the Mets are back. They've retooled. They have an entire new coaching staff, and brought in a lineup. Brought in a bunch of help to the lineup with Bo Bichette, Luis Robert, Luke Weaver will be pitching for them, which was a guy that struggled for the Yankees. But I don't know. If a guy struggles for the Yankees, I just feel like they're going to be decent wherever else they go. So watch out for them. They're great on paper, but will they put it all together? The New York Mets. That's the thing. This was the second most expensive team in the league, and it is currently the second most expensive team in the league outside of the Dodgers. And they missed the playoffs last year. They have to make the playoffs this year. They have to make the playoffs, and they have to go on a run. To round out the NL East, we have the Marlins. This was a pretty good team last year. Like, sneaky, like, not bad. They were fighting for a playoff spot towards the end of the year. It was between them, the Diamondbacks, and the Reds ended up getting it. But Yuri Perez, looking to be a standout pitcher this year. Sandy Alcantara, if he gets back to form, it's a decent staff. Like, sneaky good. They have a really, really good young core of players that more than likely are going to be traded away at the trade deadline, because that's kind of what Miami does, is they grow players, make them good, and then trade them off for literally like more prospects. I don't know why they never just like sit on their farm team and turn it into a beast team, but I don't know. I feel like they're still really reeling from the Jose Fernandez death. To be honest though, if there wasn't a lottery, the Wizards wouldn't have to tank every year. The Wizards always be screwed over by the lottery. They do, dog. JD Walker, you are absolutely right. The Braves, they are dangerous. They just got wrecked by injuries last season. They've got arms like Sale and Spencer Strider, who Spencer Strider is not going to be the guy that we once saw. He's had too many injuries. He's not going to be the guy we once saw, so he's going to have to mix up his pitches and stuff like that, but he's still going to be very, very good. But Schwellenbach, who for me is maybe their second best pitcher outside of after Chris Sale. He's hurt to start the year. I don't know. Acuna, Matt Olson, Ozzie Albies, that's still a filthy top three in that lineup. So the Braves are going to score runs. I don't know, man. We could be looking at a team that is the worst to first type team over there in Atlanta, but ultimately I'm not the highest on the Atlanta Braves. What up, Swaggy? Well, you're going to learn now, dog. That's the NL East, the NL West. The Dodgers have won 12 of 13 division titles. And they added in Edwin Diaz, who's the best closer in the game. And they added in Kyle Tucker, one of the best power bats in the game. It's maybe the best team that they've had in the past 5 years. The Dodgers improved. The Dodgers also were battling a bunch of injury last season, especially with the pitching staff, and they still found a way to get it done. One of the things that we've seen from the Dodgers is they're like essentially furloughing pitchers, to where a guy will be hurt to start the year, and they're like, well, just chill and hang out until the postseason when we actually need you. And then they do that, and the guy's like really good in the postseason, and then, only threw like 75 innings the entire season, which is pretty good. I think they'll be doing that with Tyler Glasnow. If Glasnow does play the whole season and is healthy for all of it, he will challenge Paul Skeens for Cy Young winner. He will. Glasnow is just that good. Splash. Dodgers are dodging losses left and right. Swaggy Gorilla, I mean, come on, dog. If a comment ever deserved to be pinned, it's that one. Spencer Strider is injured to start the season. You're right, JD. Yeah, the Dodgers are very good. This is the best team that they've had since acquiring Shohei, and probably since they won that first World Series in 2020 or whatever. The Padres. Man, this Padres team always just feels right on the doorstep for me. They have so much talent, but they just cannot get past LA no matter what they do. Dylan Cease and Yu Darvish have joined the team, but they are starting the season on the IL, which is not good for them, but they will be back at some point and make that staff very, very nice. I'm just watching Sandlot right now, locked in on it. They still do have Michael King and Joe Musgrove, so they should be fine. But mentally, I don't know. I don't know if that team has it mentally. The Giants. So we got Tony Vitello, first-time MLB manager, hired directly from the NCAA. The first time MLB has hired a manager, an MLB team has hired a manager directly from the NCAA. This team hasn't made the postseason since 2021, which is insane because this is one of the best-run organizations in all of pro sports. They are awesome. They had a top 10 staff last year, and they added in Trevor Molly. They added in Luis Arias to the lineup. This team's going to be sneaky good. I'm not even joking. Don't count out the Giants. This is my first World Series potential team outside of the favorites that I've seen. Did Darvish retire? Did I read all this wrong? Because I read a bunch of stuff this morning. I might have just gotten it wrong. The Diamondbacks. This team fell off a cliff last season when Zach Gallen went down. But they have Gallen, Corbin Burns, Merrill Kelly, Eduardo Rodriguez. It's a top 5, maybe even a top 3 pitching staff in the league. If Marte produces, if Corbin Carroll produces, if they got Carlos Santana at third base this year, or first base. Sorry, they have Nolan Arenado over at third now. Geraldo Perdomo can produce. This is a playoff team. The Diamondbacks are through and through built like a playoff team. They have the staff to do it, they have the bullpen to do it, and they have the lineup to get it done. For whatever reason, though, this Diamondbacks team always has a stretch in late summer where they just fall off a cliff. I think it's the heat, to be completely honest with you, in Arizona. It just gets to them. But ultimately, this team is built like a playoff team. Okay, thank you, JD. And then the Rockies round out the NL West. They're just uncompetitive. Who cares? The Rockies are nothing to talk about. The National League Central, the Brewers. It doesn't matter who's taking the bump for this team, they're going to shove. Mizorowski's going to have a season. They lost Burns a while ago. They lost Freddie Peralta this season to the Mets. It doesn't matter who the Brewers put out on the bump. That dude is going to shove. They have a lot of dudes returning to the lineup last season as a team that is probably the best fundamental team in baseball. They're aiming to make another run this year. They were very, very good last year in the postseason. They obviously ran into a buzzsaw in Los Angeles, but ultimately this team was a couple games away, a couple of knocks on the baseball to making the World Series, and this team is just as good as they were last year. But they got to play the Cubs this year, bro. The Cubs are America's team. The Cubs are America's team. The Bears are America. I think Chicago is just America's town. I was watching some movie on Netflix about Chicago getting nuked, and it made me very, very sad because I'm like, well, the Cubs are America's team. The Bears feel like America's team. I wish the Bulls were better than they were. I wish the Bulls had some nice young talent and could also be labeled as America's team. But if you don't love the Cubs, I don't think you love baseball. If you grew up around the same time that I grew up, that 2016 Cubs World Series, even if you're not a fan of the team, even if you're not a fan of baseball, it's the most impressive or the most, how can I say this, impactful championship I've ever seen won in American sports. This Cub team rocks, dude. And they've got Pete Crow Armstrong. If he's not your favorite player in baseball outside of your favorite player on your favorite team, you're doing something wrong because PCA rocks. He's Captain America. The Cubs rule. Paprika. They lost Tucker, but they added Bregman, which on a team with a lot of raw power, I gotta love Bregman's consistency and in this lineup and his get on base ability. The Roto got better with Edward Cabrera, but probably the main concern for these guys is still going to be that pitching staff. They got a ton of power. They got a ton of on base. They're going to put up runs. The city of Chicago loves these dudes. They do go through some tough stretches in that ballpark with the weather in Wrigley. But ultimately, I love this lineup. I think the staff is going to be good enough to get it done. I think the Cubs are a playoff team. The Reds last year made a huge playoff appearance at the hands of Tito Francoa, showing these dudes how to win. Tito Francona is one of the best managers of all time. He is awesome. My third favorite team is the Cubs. Shout out JD. The White Sox is the weird middle child. Yeah, no one cares about the White Sox. I feel bad for the White Sox. I feel bad for White Sox fans too, because there's a sneaky decent amount of them. The Reds added in Eugenio Suarez, but Hunter Green just went down with a hurt elbow, and it might be a little bit of a while, and he is an ace if there ever was one. They're relatively the same team as last year. I know Gavin Lux is away, so it seems like Matt McClain, my homie, Matt McClain is going to be getting most of the reps over there at second. It really just is like, how far can Ellie De La Cruz take this team and Tito Francona? Because they're going to be well coached. They're going to play some good baseball. Eugenio Suarez is going to hit home runs. Ellie De La Cruz is going to do freaky stuff. Matt McClain should have a better season than he did last year. They've got dudes. They got Andrew Abbott. Losing Hunter Green absolutely stinks. This Reds team is young, feisty, and very, very fun, and they're very well coached. Watch out for the Reds this year. The Cardinals are in rebuild mode, but they got two dudes on their team that you might be looking out for, and one of them named J.J. Weatherholt, who I'm looking at having a huge breakout season. He's my National League Rookie of the Year. I'm calling it right now. Alec Burleson is the other guy on this team who is very, very good at baseball, and you got to like him a lot. Finally, the Pirates in the NL Central. Connor Griffin is 19 years old. He's a prospect for them who's going to be starting on this team, it looks like, and he looks like a professional baseball player already. He is awesome. They added in Marcelo Zuna and some other bats to try to produce for this exciting young pitching staff that is really, really good. I think they're going to be sneaky decent this year. I think they're going to be on the cusp. I think it's going to be August and they're going to be playing meaningful baseball games trying to get to a postseason because they're realizing right now, if the Pirates don't put something together this season, Paul Skeens is going to be trying his absolute darnest to get out of there. Because Paul Skeens is not a dude who's going to sit around on a bad team and make the $400 million just playing on a horrible baseball team. They don't have that max salary contract type thing that they have in the NBA, where if you stay with your team that drafted you, make a lot more money than if you leave. That's not a thing in baseball. Paul Skeens doesn't strike me as a guy that's going to stay in Pittsburgh forever because he's loyal to the people of Pittsburgh. I don't know the point of him staying in Pittsburgh either. If that team doesn't put pieces around him to be competitive and to give him signs that like, hey, we got a real chance to win here. This is an exciting young team. We have an exciting young staff. We have a couple of bats that are pretty solid. We have a young prospect coming up in Connor Griffin who could be an absolute hero, phenom type player. You still got an O'Neal Cruz in that lineup. The Pirates have to do something this year or next year to prove to Paul Skeens that we care about winning baseball games, or else Paul Skeens is a Yankee. So fast. So fast. Paul Skeens will be a Yankee. Yeah, Paul, there it is. They need to do something. That's the National League preview for you. So, of my playoff teams, I have the following 3 teams are division winners in the National League. Winning the NL East, I've got the Mets, dude. I've got the New York Mets. I think this is the year for the Mets. They have an awesome lineup. They have an awesome pitching staff. They've got a great relief bullpen. They're well coached. They've got a lot of money. They're disappointed about last year. I think Lindor and Soto are both leaders, especially Juan Soto. I think Juan Soto he's first of all a World Series champion in Washington. He's played on playoff teams and been disappointed with the Yankees and with the Padres. He's coming into this Mets team being the most expensive player in the world, having a lot to prove. I think the Mets make the playoffs this year. I think they win that division pretty handedly. I think they play good baseball down the stretch. I think they stay hot throughout. I think Bo Bichette is an incredible asset to this team. Incredible asset to this team. For me, the Mets are my favorite in the National League, actually, to make the World Series. So I got the Mets winning the NL East over the Phillies. Yeah, I do. I have the Dodgers winning the NL West. If you remember, they didn't last year. The Padres won the NL West last year. But I do have the Dodgers winning the NL West this year. And then in the NL Central, although I think it's going to be very, very tight race down the stretch, I do have the Brewers just edging out the Cubs in the NL Central. And then for my three wildcard teams, 3 different divisions here. So 2 teams from each division for me are making the playoffs. I've got the Cubs, the Phillies, and the San Francisco Giants as my 6th playoff team. I have the Padres missing the playoffs this year. I've got the Padres missing the playoffs. This team doesn't seem like... Listen, they've been running it back now for a few years. People are mad at the Yankees for running it back. The Padres are also pretty much running it back, but they're losing Arias. They haven't improved or gotten better. I'm not high on the Padres. I have them missing the playoffs. The Reds were a playoff team last year. I have them missing the playoffs. The Diamondbacks are the one team that could really, 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 really hurt me. I think they can hurt me really bad. I think the Diamondbacks are going to be a good enough team to make it, but I ultimately think they somehow get edged by the Giants. Another team that could absolutely bite me in the butt, the Braves. I don't know why. If no one's talking about the Braves, I just feel like that's going to be a good team. I just wanted to be the Yankees Cubs so bad. That'd be awesome. TBWZ, as a fellow American, should we bomb Iran again? I do not have any idea what's going on over there. I'm not going to pretend to, but I love you. Care about you. In the American League now, in the AL East, obviously the returning AL champion, the Blue Jays, Wait, am I tripping nutsack? I'm absolutely tripping balls. I keep saying Dylan Cease for the Padres, and I do not mean that. Dylan Cease is a Blue Jay. How can I forget? Dylan Cease, Tyler Rogers, and of course Trey Savage join a rotation that also includes Ken Gossman, and Max Scherzer, who's returning this year, who probably will end up in the bullpen. But it's the best pitching staff in the entire MLB. The Blue Jays pitching staff absolutely rules. Vladimir Guerrero is going to have an MVP caliber season. I know they're losing Bo Bichette, but they got Ernie Clement. They've got dogs on that team, Alejandro Kirk. They have dudes who can absolutely put the bat on the ball. George Springer is returning this year. He was a little bit dinged up towards the end. I think he plays a fully healthy season. The Blue Jays are going to be really good at baseball again. I don't know what to tell you. Last year, my buddy Coop put it perfectly. When they played the Dodgers, he said the Dodgers might have the 10 best players in this series, but the Blue Jays have 11 through 30. Like, the Blue Jays are very, very stacked. And they're stacked in a way that's not top-heavy, but just deep, deep, deep. Watch out for the Blue Jays this season. The Yankees, running it back, dude, is the thing I keep hearing more than anything. The Yankees are just running it back. But I'm not mad about it. Hey, if I had an elite lineup like that, an elite pitching staff with just a little bit more motivation after losing last year to the Blue Jays, I'd run it back too. I think running it back was probably the smartest thing they could have done. They obviously signed Bellinger, which is going to be solid for them. But this Yankees team was filthy last year. They were a couple outs away from going to the World Series, from beating a Blue Jays team that was on a tear. That Blue Jays team was on a tear, and the pitching staff fell apart. They didn't have obviously they didn't have Garrett Cole, and they're not going to start the season with Garrett Cole. So having a Garrett Cole towards the end of the year is going to be very, very nice for them. Max Fried had to be a workhorse last year, and I think Max Fried is better if he's maybe your second or third guy in, because I think Carlos Rodon is going to start over him, but I think Max Fried is the opening day starter. Correct me if I'm wrong. They're playing tonight. Is Max Fried starting? Problem was our pitching, so hopefully Yankees pitching can be better. I mean, you add in Garrett Cole. I think it improves. I'm looking at a breakout season from Cam Schlittler. Cam Schlittler is ridiculous. He's a very, very good basketball player. I'm big on Cam Schlittler this season. The Red Sox are a team that is going to be dangerous this year. Garrett Crochet is probably the only dude in baseball that can challenge Tarek Skubal for the AL Cy Young. In my opinion, Garrett Crochet spins it that well. They lost Bregman. They traded away Rafael Devers. Roman Anthony is going to have some big shoes to fill, dude. But if you don't know the name Roman Anthony, you will know it after this season. Roman Anthony is Mike Trout 2.0. He's super toolsy. He can throw, he can run, he can bat. He can do pretty much everything on the field. He is Mr. America. He is so handsome. It's so frustrating. It's incredibly frustrating how handsome he is. He's beautiful. He's big. He's tall. He's fast. He's athletic. He's a baseball player. He's a millionaire. Roman Anthony is awesome, dude. You guys are going to love watching him play baseball this year. But ultimately, I don't know if the Red Sox have the firepower to compete in that division. Because you still have the Rays. And the Rays last year had a very, very weird season. If you remember, we had that huge hurricane that hit like St. Pete's in the Tampa area. If you were in that area, shout out to you. Love you. But it tore the roof off of their stadium. They had to play the rest of their season in a spring training ballpark. It was just not going to happen last year. That last year was not the year for the Rays. There was a lot going on, okay? They made a lot of moves per usual because they're not a team that usually signs guys. They usually buy low and sell high or let free agents walk because they're a money ball team and they're always bottom 10 in player salaries, but they always make the playoffs. How come, dude, why can't my team? Whatever. Junior Caminero is that dude. He might lead the league in a few hitting categories this season. It's Junior Caminero. Popped off last year, and I'm gonna predict he pops off again this year and continues to be a dog. High on the Rays this year. To round it out, the Orioles. They basically last year were the most disappointing team that we've seen in a long time. A lot of people picked them to finish first in that division. They finished last, pretty much. They added two big bats in Alonso and Taylor Ward. They got three big arms to help this team out this year. But listen, last year it was about the young core not playing well. Adley Rutschman didn't play well. Gunnar Henderson was okay. Jackson Holliday was nowhere to be found. There's another dude who I'm blanking on that starts with a K. They need that young core in Baltimore to be really, really good for this team to make the playoffs, which makes sense. You build a team around a core, the core doesn't play well, you don't make the playoffs. They play good, you play good. It's as simple as that. I think they improve a lot this season. I'm pretty high on the Orioles this year. Higher than most people I've seen. In the AL West, actually I'm going to save the AL West for last. In the AL Central, the Guardians last season, they had a very, very quiet offseason, the Guardians. And it seems like a team that's also kind of just running it back and saying, hey, we made the playoffs last year. Didn't play well against Detroit at the very end, but we made the playoffs, made it there. We're going to run it back with this team. They were 15 games back on the division in like late July, and they ended up winning it, okay? They were 8 games back in September and still won it. This is a team that had a miracle run to the postseason, but ultimately I don't think they deserved to be there. They have some dope prospects. I mean, Travis Bazzana, look out for him. Speaking of Australia, he's going to absolutely rake. That kid is really good. But I think this team was a fluke playoff team last year. They were a fluke playoff team last year, and I know someone has to step up in order to take the Guardians' spot. But ultimately, I don't think this team was good enough to just be like, run it back. The thing with the Guardians is always going to be their rotation. Their rotation is awesome, and their bullpen is great. Jose Ramirez is an absolute hero. He is a hero. They should already have a statue for him in Cleveland next to LeBron James, but they don't. Love this team. Love these guys. Love the way they play, but ultimately, I don't know if it's a playoff team. The Tigers added in Framber Valdez and Verlander to a staff led by Tyreek Skubal. It's a very good baseball team. The Tigers are going to be really, really good. Their lineup is pretty filthy. They don't have like a hero. They just have a bunch of dudes that can get it done. I'm excited to see who steps up for this team. I expect a big year out of Riley Green. I'd love to see Spencer Torkelson take a step forward. But ultimately, like, this team has just a bunch of guys who can get it done. It's going to be interesting to see who steps up and is the guy out there. The Royals. They got Caglione, Bobby Witt, Pasquantino. It's a fun core of dudes that also have a pretty awesome pitching staff. The Royals are very, very well balanced from top to bottom. And they're poised for a run at the division. I'm not going to lie. The Royals are a sneaky team in a weak division that can absolutely make a run. I like this team a lot. If you were to take an AL MVP outside of Judge, Bobby Witt Jr. might be the guy. Although don't sleep on Roman Anthony being the MVP of the American League, potentially. He's not my pick. I do have my pick later. I'm saving that. The Twins and the White Sox, these are rebuild years for both of these teams. They're rebuild years for both these teams. They're the only team, well, they're pretty much the only team in the only division in baseball that has 2 rebuilding teams. So that's why I think the Royals can definitely rack up enough wins against the bottom of the division and play well against the top, enough against the top of the division to make a run at the playoffs. I do like the Royals. The AL West. The Mariners. This team is stacked. They lost Eugenio Suarez, but they added in Brandon Donovan, who's an on-base machine. So they're basically replaying a power bat, low on base, high strikeout, high home run guy with a dude that's just going to be on base all the time, which is awesome for this Mariners team. I think it's what they needed most. Last year they needed they had the blast, but they were missing the bloop. You need the bloop and the blast. And Brandon Donovan is that bloop. This might be the best lineup in all of baseball. They have an awesome staff. George Kirby, obviously, we know about him. We know about Brian Wu. They have a great staff and a great rotation and a great bullpen. Mariners going to be really good at baseball. Nothing you could say about it. Astros. Hunter Brown is a Cy Young caliber arm, and Yordan Alvarez could easily win MVP. But outside of that, there's not a whole lot going on in Houston. They brought back Correa last year. So they have Correa and Altuve still for us to boo if you want to boo some Astros. Side note, every time I've seen an Astros game, because I go to a decent amount of them at Angel Stadium, those guys all but get booed every single time. Every single time they're up bat, those guys specifically get booed for cheating in 2017. I went to a Red Sox Astros game in Fenway in 2021, and they got booed endlessly in that game. It was awesome. If you ever are around an Astros game, if you ever go to a baseball game and your team is playing the Astros, please, with all of your power, boo the crap out of Carlos Correa. Boo the crap out of Jose Altuve. If you are catching a Blue Jays game, boo George Springer. Boo Alex Bregman. These guys cheated. Do you think we're going to keep them out of the Hall of Fame? Like we're keeping the steroid guys out of the Hall of Fame? What's up, Fast Rake? The line is just closed right now because I'm doing an MLB preview. But if you want to call in and talk ball, you're welcome to. Baseball, specifically. I don't know. The Astros are super top-heavy. Not a lot of promise there for me. I don't think the Astros are going to be very good. But this is a team that is a great organization. They're well-coached. Jeremy Pena is still there. They still have got guys around Yordan and around Jose Altuve and Correa and Pena. Listen, they got a good staff. Hunter Brown could win Cy Young. They lost Framber Valdez. They're either a team that finishes fourth in the division or they win the division and somehow make a run in the playoffs. It's kind of no in between. The Rangers, dog. Nate Eovaldi, Jacob deGrom, Corey Seager. It's a great roster. They always end up hurt, though. If they stay healthy, they're going to be a pretty good team, but they always end up hurt. They added in Mackenzie Gore to help with the staff. Wyatt Langford is looking for a breakout season. All white boys on that squad. Shout out, JD. You're very, very right. Have you previewed the AL East yet? I did. But I'll do a recap in just a moment. The Athletics that's a sneaky good offense over there in Oakland. Sneaky good. They're gonna score a ton of runs this season, but they're also gonna give up a bunch. Their staff is not very good, but their lineup's great. They added in Luis Severino, but they're playing in a minor league ballpark, so that's kind of tough. Great hitting, poor pitching, should make for some very exciting games in Sacramento. It's going to be fun to watch some Athletics games this year because they got some dudes that can swing it. And then the Angels. The Los Angeles, and then finally the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim are going to be playing baseball this season in what I'm predicting is a very non-meaningful way. Oh, man. We added Alek Manoah, Grayson Rodriguez, Kirby Yates to the staff. Those guys can be great or they can be absolutely horrible. There's really no in between for those dudes. I mean, the Angels are just... Do you want to know something crazy? Like, we talk about the Angels a lot on this show because, one, I'm an Angels fan. Do you know Mike Trout is only 1 year older than Aaron Judge? Mike Trout's only 1 year older than Aaron Judge. Mike Trout, it feels like he's 55 years old. He's been playing baseball for he has 6 more seasons than Aaron Judge, but is only 1 year older. For whatever reason, we have this idea that Aaron Judge has 10 plus more years of being good with it. He has 10 more years of being good at baseball. With Mike Trout, we're like, he should retire in the next 2 or 3 years. That's not going to happen. I'm just letting you know right now that's not going to happen. He's going to play baseball for a lot longer. It's just a matter of like, can Mike Trout stay healthy? I don't think that's the reason the Angels win or lose this year, though. I don't think the Angels win this year. I don't think they do anything meaningful this year. This day is always really bittersweet, man, because I am so happy that opening day is here, but also just so sad that my team is the Angels. Coming off the offseason that we did with the owner saying fans don't care about winning, they care more about ticket prices. Not doing really anything in free agency to get better except like add in some pitchers who probably are going to get shelled, but also could shove. I guess it's all about Mike Trout staying healthy and Shonwell and Zach Neto. I don't know. It sucks, dude. Opening day is awesome. It's a day of celebration. I'm like, yes, baseball's back, but also I hate my team. I hate the Angels. I hate the owner. I hate the GM. I struggle to find a reason to hope. It's frustrating. But also, it doesn't matter that much. We're getting a call right now. This better be about baseball. What is up, brother? You are live on TBWZ Widescreen Radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Grady from Minnesota. What's up?
Grady from Minnesota, my guy. How are you doing today? Are you excited for baseball?
I am, man. What do you think about the Twins? They look really bad.
The Twins do not look very good at all. They it feels like it's a rebuilding year. They do have some young prospects that are going to be very fun to watch, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like they're going to make much noise at all.
They have Buxton.
Isn't that funny? Like throughout all of this, they did a huge fire sale last summer, but they kept Byron Buxton, who...
Yeah, I feel really bad for the guy. I feel like he probably should have left.
You think he should have dipped out?
I think so, personally, yes.
Was he under contract?
Huh?
Was he under contract?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I mean, if they play bad again
I'm
this
saying
year...
I probably should have traded him is what I mean, because it's kind of rude to keep him around. Nigger, 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 nigger.
Yeah, it was kind of weird to keep Buxton around. Ultimately, I don't necessarily think, like, when a team is going into that, like, rebuild-ish mode, I don't know the point of, like, trading away every single guy. You don't want to trade every single player that you have. If you trade away Buxton, you trade away everything that you have, and you just become a complete waste of time. Because baseball's weird. Like I said, at any point, you might be able to turn around and win a World Series with whatever squad that you have. So don't get rid of all your guys. All right. To round it out and to finish this thing off strong, my AL playoff teams. I have the Mariners winning the AL West. I have the Yankees winning the AL East. And I have the Tigers winning the AL Central. The playoff teams. I have the Blue Jays making the playoffs. I have the Orioles making the playoffs. And I also have the Royals sneaking in there out of the AL Central and making the playoffs. So, I have 3 playoff teams from the AL East, but none of them are the Red Sox. I'm not going to predict injuries. I just don't think that rotation stays healthy enough for them to be competitive with the lineups that are in baseball right now. The Orioles, for me, are a team that is going to get hot and stay hot. The Blue Jays are a great baseball team as well. And the Royals are like my sneaky last wild card spot team. They're going to be competing late with the Red Sox. They're going to be competing late in the season with the Guardians and with potentially a team like the Astros or the Rays or the Athletics. And I think they sneak away and get in because of they're in an easy division. I like their staff a lot, and I like their lineups. So the Royals are my 6th team. And finally, my National League MVP this year, I have Mr. Juan Soto. Typically, what we've seen from the World Baseball Classic is the guys that come in from the Baseball Classic usually start off a little bit hot. So I'm thinking Juan Soto starts off the season a little bit hot and stays hot. I love Juan Soto. Another guy that played in this, the AL MVP for me, move over Aaron Judge, make room for Big Daddy Vladdy Jr. Vlad Guerrero Jr. for me is going to hit 40 home runs and steal 20 bases somehow. He's going to bat .320. He's going to have 150 RBIs. Vlad Guerrero Jr. is going to have a season and a half this year. I think he's pissed off about losing the World Series. I think he's mad about losing in the World Baseball Classic. I expect that dude to come into the season hot and stay hot. So we got Juan Soto and Vladdy Jr. as the MVP picks this year. My Cy Youngs are chalk. I'm picking Skeens and I'm picking Scooble. Hand up. That's who I'm picking. If you had to handcuff that out of the National League, a pitcher that I'm looking at that could potentially take over as that MVP or that Cy Young caliber player in replacing Paul Skeens, it'd be very, very tough. I'm a huge, huge, huge fan of Zac Gallen. Like, massive fan of Zac Gallen. He could be the guy. And then Chris Sanchez. Also, don't sleep on Nolan McLean from the Mets. Don't sleep on Nolan McLean from the Mets. And then if you were to handcuff Scooble, let's say in the AL, you don't think he's going to survive. I like Crochet a lot in the American League, but also Hunter Brown. I'm expecting a great season from Hunter Brown. And a dark horse guy, a dark horse player that I'm looking at this year that could potentially be a Cy Young winner. Don't sleep on Cam Schlittler, dude. Don't sleep on Cam Schlittler. He was dominant in the playoffs he had a great game against the Blue Jays, but he was really, really good against the Red Sox. He's got really nasty stuff. He's young. I like him a lot. And finally, my World Series picks. Drum roll, please. New York! I have the Mets versus the Yankees in the World Series 2026. I feel like it's the Mets' year. I feel like it's the Yankees' year. I feel like both of these teams had similar off seasons where it's like, okay, we did a little bit, but also kind of running it back, but also kind of we spent a ton of money last year and we're kind of just spending a ton of money this year. Everyone's thinking about the Dodgers, everyone's talking about the Blue Jays, and everyone forgot about the Subway Series. I think we get Mets, Yankees in what is the biggest World Series of all time. I think we have rating bonanza. I think it's the most viewed World Series of all time in the history of the MLB, and it eventually leads to the longest lockout that the Major League Baseball has ever seen. If you know anything about baseball, the minute they take one step forward, they take 3 steps back. Or as they're finishing and crossing the finish line, they stop and they land in a huge pothole and roll their ankles. For me, we're going to have this Mets-Yankees World Series. It's going to be unbelievable. It's Soto versus Judge. It's Freddie Peralta and Garrett Cole. It's stars on stars on stars in the city that never sleeps. I think we're going to get an awesome World Series. It's going to lead to the longest lockout ever. And then, of course, I do. How could I not? The greatest thing that could ever happen in baseball is the Mets getting a World Series before the Yankees do. I got the Mets winning the World Series this year. I just do. I believe in that team. I believe in those guys. I believe that what happened to them last season stunk. They don't strike me as a team that's going to just roll over. I think the addition of Bo Bichette is huge leadership-wise. I like this changes they made to the coaching staff. I got the Mets versus the Yankees in the city that never sleeps. We're going to take one call, and then we're going to go to break. What is up, brother? You are live on TBWZ Widescreen Radio. Please let the people know your name and where you're calling from.
My name is JD. I'm calling from Texas.
JD, my guy from Texas. JD, you're a Yankees fan?
Yes. To explain, my entire family, since I've been known, is a Yankees fan. So I'm not like a bandwagon. I just have always been in a Yankees jersey. So
always been in a Yankees jersey. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Dog, you excited for baseball then, or what?
Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully the Yankees can do something. We can win 28 finally, instead of just saying chase for 28.
Yeah, I think you've got a great lineup. I think running it back has a negative disposition, but I do believe that if I was in charge of the Yankees, I probably would have just run it back too. You know what I mean? You got Bellinger and you got some bats in there, so you guys are gonna be fine. I think the staff is improved because you're gonna get healthier at the right time. So, I'm pretty high on the Yankees having a good season this year.
Yeah, I'm like either between we win it or we come second behind the Blue Jays. So there's that.
Yeah, the Blue Jays are going to be very good, and it seems like they have your number a little bit. But ultimately, we're just fired up for baseball, dude. We're just fired up for baseball.
Yeah, hopefully Judge can hit a home run tonight.
You have Judge did a homer?
Yeah, I bet on it, low-key.
Okay. All right, a little low-key action. I absolutely like that. I've got Rafael Devers in my fantasy baseball team, so I'm going to be cheering on Rafael Devers tonight.
There you go. I will say, though, I'm sorry you're an Angels fan, but I can't stand that they ruined Mike Trout's career.
Mike Trout could have left.
He could have? I thought he signed like a 13-year deal.
When he signed the deal, he didn't have to sign with the Angels. It was pretty clear that we weren't a good baseball team. Listen, Mike Trout lives in Newport Beach in a multi-million-dollar mansion that looks over the ocean in what is like a top 5 most beautiful place in the world in Laguna. He walks around and no one bothers him because he's lived there for so long. You wouldn't tell who he is if he wasn't wearing an Angels hat. No one in Orange County really, really cares if the Angels are that good or bad. Mike Trout's got an awesome life, dude. And he ultimately could have gone somewhere else to be more competitive. I don't think Mike Trout is the most competitive guy in the world. I know it's like the Angels ruined Mike Trout. Maybe Mike Trout was never meant to be a World Series champion. I don't know.
Maybe he's the Chris Paul.
Maybe he's like Chris Paul. Absolutely. JD, you are the absolute man. We're going to go to break right now. Can you tell the people, fellas, this has been the Power Hour of TBWZ. We will see you after the break.
Hold on. Wait, what am I supposed to say? I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention.
You're good. You're going to say, thank you for listening to the Power Hour. We're going to be right back after this break.
Thank you for listening to the Power Hour. We'll be right back after this break.